Hey guys, this is the Justice for All podcast with Gage and Randall. This is a part three segment of our foreign affairs topic. Thanks again for joining us. And to recap that last segment, we went over the Russia stuff, and then dove into the South Africa's new president and kind of what's been going on there these last couple of weeks. So they elected a president. Ramaphosa, I believe, and he's all about kind of like an apartheid kind of thing. And actually, we have a video to share with you guys, a 30-second clip here of kind of what we've been talking about. This guy's off the wall. We talk about crazy people, especially leaders. We think Trump is crazy, but we really don't know what we have until like even when I thought it was kind of funny when I was telling Gage, he didn't believe me at all. Like when I said this,
Yeah,
he actually
I thought you were just making it up.
yeah, he Googled it on the spot, and it's just scary because it's like we're not exposed to these things as often as maybe we should. And really, what I learned from all this is just kind of take taking our time, maybe even a week, and look at some old events, and you never know what you'll find. But this is some scary stuff. We're gonna play this video, and then we'll get Gage's final thoughts on this. So yeah.
I was moved from District 6 with my family, and my house was bulldozed. And to this day, I do not have a house. I rent a house. I lost everything that I had. Now, that is a pain that needs to be addressed. It is a division that we must heal.
All right, so that's Ramaphosa. He's addressing some kind of parliament or Congress there, and what he was saying is he was going over some hardships he actually faced himself during apartheid, which is a terrible thing. He lost his house, and his family did, and he's saying he's had to deal with hardships until now. He is actually president. He's trying to make a difference. I think he's going about the wrong way, and right after that, he calls for division amongst his citizens, meaning division from the people of color and the white people there, which is definitely not a good thing. And I think, like I said, they're trying to take the people, the white people's farmland initially. And I heard from another speech, he kind of implemented, kind of like a homicide, mass homicide for the whites, kind of like wink, wink. But I couldn't find that video immediately. But this is all a bad thing. But Gage, yeah, if you don't mind, what else do you think about? What else do you have?
Well, I mean, it seems to me like it's based upon revenge. I mean, obviously, apartheid is horrible, and everything that happened in South Africa, where we spent, at least in my middle school and stuff, we spent whole units on it, learning about it, and different stuff on it. And a lot of it was horrible, like he was describing. But the answer isn't to go back to that and do it the opposite way. It's like you need to move on, you need to heal, you need to, obviously things aren't going to go away overnight, and it'll take some time. But you need to work on being at peace with each other, or at least you might not see eye to eye, obviously, but learning to coexist, basically, instead of going back to this, instead of going to like a reverse apartheid and actually, executing people.
So, yeah, I agree wholeheartedly, man. Yeah, this is all tragic thing. I really hope some good comes, from the South African people. I hope, I just hope this gets stopped before bad things really do start happening there. And my prayers are out, and I'll definitely be keep an eye on this. And like I said, just kind of if anything we learn from this, kind of really keep yourself informed. And if you keep yourself informed, maybe you'll develop an awareness, and maybe answers to some questions that we can't answer now might show up here hopefully in the near future. But yeah, definitely a terrible thing. And You know,
Yeah.
but life's a roller coaster. You ride the ups and downs, and I think South Africa, they have some good people there, and I think they can really come back from this. Hopefully, and hopefully better than ever, man. So we'll just keep them in our thoughts and all that. But we mentioned something earlier. Moving on from foreign affairs, it's kind of cool. We've been banging out all I was kind of nervous when we tackled this because, oh shit, foreign affairs. We could be talking about this for a couple of hours, but we've really been. I think we've kind of went to like a little bit of detail here and there about a lot of these hot issues lately with all these countries. So we're going to tackle the big guy. Even if we have to go a little bit over today, I think it'd be worth it. And we're going to finish up hopefully here on China. And shit, I was kind of thinking, damn, we could do one for just China here too, honestly. But we're not going to do that. We're gonna get this done. We're going to get it done in a timely manner. So, Gage, what we'll start with this. What do you think of how about our relationship with China? Some things happening over there that you've seen develop, or anything like that. What do you have to say?
Well, I mean, obviously, for the longest time, China has developed or benefited immensely off of our trade deals that we've made with them, and a lot of our jobs have gone overseas for them to develop their country basically, and they've developed a ton over the past couple decades. I mean, they claim to be a communist state still, which they are in social aspects because they still control the internet, they control what people see and all that. But they're basically capitalistic in their economy now because of all the trade that is going on and all the jobs. But since Trump has gotten in office, tensions between us and China have gone up a little bit, and rightfully so, I think, because Trump is calling out what has been the elephant in the room for a long time.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people in this country have lost their jobs to factories going overseas, and that's one of the major reasons why he won the election because he recognized the pain that those people were going through and offered a solution saying, hey, I'm going to try to rework these trade deals so that we can bring jobs back here that, have been gone for a decade or longer in some instances. And we're starting to see some of them come back as far as, I know we'll get into a whole episode about tariffs, but Trump recently passed the tariff, like the steel and aluminum tariffs, and we're already seeing a Pittsburgh steel plant in Illinois open back up that's been closed since 2015, and they're recalling 500 workers. And if Trump manages to get his infrastructure bill passed this year or next year, then that's going to require even more steel and more American-made goods, and it's going to
and even
boom even bigger.
Well, and not even mentioning people are also too about when you bring up that how about the wall too, if we can get that going too,
Yeah. Even that.
But I mean, and then that's another thing. It's kind of like we're starting to see Trump's cards being. He's showing us his hand, and what people are like, oh, why does he want the wall? What's that going to do? Or well, these tariffs. It's kind of like you got to do this for that, you got to do that for that, and it's all coming together, and it's going to be connected for the greater good. And really, I think we're starting to see that big picture. But going back to what you were saying, I think with us, I want to be clear. Foreign trade is great for every economy. Foreign trade, I don't think we could survive without foreign trade. We need to trade. Trading is good. That's what we are founded on. Trading is fine. I just don't want to get fucked over on trade deals anymore. And I think, when you have,
and it would be fine if you were supplying them with jobs, they were supplying us.
But it's one-sided. But and here's the thing, my whole thing is I'm not really upset about the jobs going over there. I'm a little upset about the amount of jobs. I mean that's fine because we get Honda, we get Toyota plants here too, and that's great. I'm all for that's great. But that's not Chinese, obviously. But those are just my examples. It's great though because, huh? What was that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, so that's not Chinese.
Well, no. But my point being is, other like countries, companies, we prosper from that too. Like I said, I mean, good God, if we didn't have some of the Toyota or Honda factories here, man, what if they decided, that would be devastating to our economy as well. So, like I said, I think international, business and trade, as long as it's fair, it's good. Now, going to the China thing, where, we see, not in Chinese case, but we see where we benefit, they benefit. The only way we benefit now is just because of the cheap goods. And honestly, for me, I'll tell you what I believe in, and then I'll kind of give some points here. Okay, just bear with me, and then we'll kind of do what we did with the gun thing, kind of tackle one thing, rebuttal, tackle. Okay, so what I believe in is I think. Like I said, international trade, good. Businesses being here, business being there, good. Keep it free market if it's fair. All good. I'm all for that. That is what I'm for. I don't think there's anything wrong otherwise. And from an economic standpoint, I think that's a strong economic policy. I also think now here's the reality. What is going on is, like you said, we are sending jobs there. We are sending, raw supplies there and shit. We're sending all this and that, and all they're doing is creating jobs for their people and then giving it back to us at a fucking discount. And I think a lot of people, even Republicans, are hating on Trump right now because of this, because, of the free trade, and a lot of people don't believe we should get into this trade war with countries, especially one like China. But having said that, our dollar still weighs more, I think, than, if I'm not mistaken, than their yen. I think we have more chips. Here's my thing. Hold on a second. I think we have the capability to self-sustain and be just fine, even if our goods are a little bit more expensive. And I mean, that's just obviously going to happen. That's the whole backlash. That's why people hate this. They don't want to get in a trade war because things are going to be expensive. Initially, people are going to lose jobs. But in the grand scheme of things, I think it's going to boom our economy. I think we're going to get back at those jobs. And if you want to solve the job problem, legalize weed, people. Fucking let's get into other alternative energy, things like that. Whatever else we got to do, we can figure out other jobs. So initially, yeah, we'll probably take a hit, but I will have to say I don't think it's a dumb thing to get in this trade war with China, and here's why. We are trying to get people back here. We're not trying to steal things. I mean, we are. We're not trying to steal anything. We're just trying to play the game and make it even for us. We're trying to, we reduced our tax to 15% for, the wealthy guy. China did theirs to 0, and to, kind of balance that out. That's why Trump wants to have these tariffs, because he's like, oh, well, we can play this game better. And if you implement that, what is it, 25%, he said, to goods being shipped back here that are American.
Yeah.
So if you have that, if my math is not wrong, we used to have a 10%, gain there economically. So it's still going to encourage people to come back, create the jobs. Now things are going to be more expensive, and the jobs might take a hit initially. However, I think if we can keep this steady incline of the jobs, people still working and getting a fair wage and livable wage, I think people will be more inclined to pay the extra, amount it costs from producing here in their goods. So if we start, say, for instance, we bring Apple here and start making iPhones here. The iPhone, might go up $100, $200, $500, maybe. But I think if people, but I'm just whatever. But I'm saying I think even then, even if it was that worst case scenario, I think people would be inclined to do that as long as Trump can keep his promise on keeping the jobs and keeping them fair, I still think people would. I mean, I'd buy. Look, we came from Kokomo, Indiana. That was a Chrysler town. How many Chryslers did we see? People get behind, the jobs there. People get behind industry that is there, even if it's more pricey. That's just the American way. So I think it's going to have some backlash initially. However, I think overall this policy is good. And I think we have to keep in mind, too, that this isn't going to be implemented for every one of our trade partners. It's only going to be implemented for the ones that we're not getting a fair shake in the deal at. We still want the free trade with, the members of NAFTA, Mexico and Canada, because we're trading with them fairly. We think people might say we're losing out in Mexico. I don't believe that. Honestly, we still, like I said, I think the only one we're really losing on is China, and we're fair with Japan too. So really, it's just been like China, maybe some of the Middle East.
We're losing with Mexico too more recently.
What do you? Why? Why do you think that?
Because they're not bringing as many jobs here as we're giving to them. They're doing the same thing. They're manipulating the currency.
But here's the thing. I think, dude, because of like Ford and stuff. Is that what you mean?
Well, pretty much everything. Mexico is becoming the new China, basically, with the way it is. They're not giving us jobs. We're giving them all their jobs.
Yeah, but we're taking in their people.
Well, that's like a lose-lose.
Oh, no. But I'm just saying. I think we're getting rained more by China than Mexico. I really don't think. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because China's one of our biggest trading partners. Here would be my point on the whole thing. As far as I would rather have goods made here in America than overseas, because number one, it gives people jobs here. And good paying jobs at that. You look at these factory jobs and stuff, and people are making livable wages, $40,000 plus. You look at people at Chrysler, they were making $20 an hour or more most of the time. Number two, you look at the quality of the things that are made here, it's a lot better than stuff made overseas. You look at our cell phones that are made overseas, they fall apart in a year. You look at all the, Chinese made toys and stuff, they're cheap plastic and they fall apart easily. The stuff here has always been made better. Because it's better.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. Well, like I said, the only fairness in the trade with like a Mexico or China is.
Well, and the other point that I wanted to bring up too is that people are complaining with the cost of goods. Well, they actually did a study with this new steel tariff that's like 25%, and the price of the average car would go up. I believe it was $151 on the price tag. So what's that? An extra couple bucks a month?
Right.
It's basically negligible. And you get American jobs here. You get American steel, which is better quality than Chinese steel. It's a win-win. And yeah, you have to pay an extra couple dollars or whatever, but I would rather pay that extra couple dollars than have something made overseas that isn't as good.
Right.
Yeah. And another point that I wanted to bring up too, China is one of the biggest defenders of a lot of the things that people are complaining about. You look at the trade war and stuff like that people are complaining about now. China has always had tariffs against our goods imported over there. They charge more for our goods that are imported so that they can give advantages to their Chinese-made goods. So they're already doing it. They're already reaming us on that. So why not play fair and do the same to them?
Okay.
Another point would be, you look at some of the health hazards that have come from China as far as, like lead paint and stuff on different children's toys, like Hot Wheels cars and stuff like that. And little kids put them in their mouths and get lead poisoning, basically. And another point is that you're basically exploiting slave labor conditions right there. You got 12-year-old kids working in sweatshop factories making 5 cents an hour.
Yeah.
So it's like, so all these things that people complain about over here, they complain about the working conditions and the pay and all that, but it's fine to exploit another country for that.
Right.
It's like it doesn't make any sense.
All right. I'm going to go back to the Mexico thing, and then we go back to China real quick. But here's why I think it's good, man. I don't think we should get in a trade war. We should keep NAFTA alone. Dude,
I think we need to renegotiate.
Okay, but like, if we're going to get into trade wars, I think we need to pick our battles. I think the first battle we pick is with China, because I think we're getting the worst end of the deal there. And what you were saying as far as like what's going on behind the scenes with them too is not good at all. I think so. Let me run these things by you, and then let's see what you say. So since NAFTA, trade has quadrupled between us, Canada, and Mexico. There's no tariffs, obviously. Another thing is it's increased our economic output. We've increased exports to both countries by 0.5% since the agreement. And services, like, we've also given them services such as like automotive, healthcare, and financial services. And they give us like, agriculture and also manufacturing as well. The third thing is, like I say, it created jobs, and that's where the, you have like contracting and, a lot of the white collar jobs. Another one, the foreign direct investment, like billions of dollars they have spent because we send goods there. We bank nearly $400 billion in trade with Mexico, and if we're good, and then I also, if we keep things right with Mexico, don't punish them, but maybe improve those relations, like you said, we can. If we're going to get in the trade war with China, let's not burn all of our bridges, and let's keep some stuff cheap. Let's keep some. We need some things cheap. We can't. I don't think we can do all of this and then be, like I said, if we're going to take a hit, we can't take like a double hit. Does that make sense? Like, I mean,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like let's fight one battle and then we'll move on and then we'll see how that goes.
A lot of the facts that you mentioned, they more so have to do with Canada because they're our biggest. Or they buy the most of our imports, and I believe we buy the most of their import, and besides China, they're one of our biggest export. One of our we buy the most imports
from China.
Like they're one of our top. Canada's one of our top.
But here's another point. Here's the last point I want to make, Gage. I'm sorry. The last point, I think this is one of the most crucial ones, is our deal with Mexico. We get oil from them from cheap too, and what that does is we can get the cheapest oil because they are competing with the Middle East there too. And
we don't need that.
But okay, that's fine.
We're the top
Gage,
oil country in the world.
Gage, that's fine. But I'm saying, like, okay, but it's been unpopular. Like, I'm saying, like, a lot of people don't want that. A lot of people don't want that to be happening. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, popular demand would say, let's buy it from whatever. I agree. Hey, I'm going to say that's fine, but, I don't know. It's a tough sell. I'm just looking at from, different perspective. That's all. Yeah, but I'm saying, like, so that's good.
Well,
those are the good things. Those are just the good things that,
Yeah, and a lot of the thing is with drilling and stuff like that, they're coming up with better environmentally friendly ways to drill.
You're right.
They're coming up with better, like different methods and stuff like that.
Right,
so it is getting better. I understand people's problems with or fracking and stuff like that.
Exactly. Well, I'm kind of like that too, but I'm also like, we're just accelerating things for the Earth's natural, natural aura. We're not. Listen, the Earth is greater than people. Earth's been here billions of years. People, a few hundred thousands. Earth's gonna win in the end. People. Like, I'm sorry to say, this bullshit that we're affecting the planet. Bullshit. The planet's gonna be just fine. It's gonna take us out before we take it out. It's good. Now, having said that, so back to
George Carlin.
right. Yeah, I actually today. You're just funny, but no, that's true. I mean, it's true. It's true. But he's a brilliant.
So that we can create plastic.
Because exactly, but it's true. That's so funny you said that. So like I said, okay, let's renegotiate that. Overall, I'm a supporter of the NAFTA, even though Mexico might take a little bit more revenge. I don't think it's as bad. I think maybe renegotiate a little bit. Definitely not trade war with them, but I think we need that for China. And like I said, I don't think we need a trade war for anybody else. What about?
I think China is the biggest defender.
Exactly. I think we just need to figure that out one step at a time. Let's keep it going, keep a strong economy. But what? So before we were listing those facts. What were you saying again about China? So I could have a refresher. About
okay.
Yeah.
So basically, like their health standards with the lead paint and stuff. They said that their exploitation of labor with paying children 5 cents.
Oh yeah. So some moral things. Yeah.
And they manipulate their currency to make it artificially low so that.
Well, so they get the best deals. So
that it's impossible to compete with them.
Exactly. And but the thing is,
and that was my point with Mexico because they're doing that too.
Yeah, and I would agree. But like I said, that's fine. I think it needs to be renegotiated. I don't think it's that bad. I think that's more fair than what's going on with China. But the thing is, man, if you're comparing us to Mexico, I'm more threatened with China because they're about to, overtake us economically. Until probably recently in the last few years. Mexico isn't like that. Mexico, they're growing, and I think it's cool. I don't know for this. I think it's better to, cause shit, man. And this is gonna sound dumb, but it's like, all right, why are we doing this in Mexico? Let's build a wall. Let's deport all your people because they suck. And and by the way, here's this trade tariff. Bye, bitch. We don't need to do that. It's kind of like, right, like Mexico. I'm not saying people from Mexico are stupid. I love Mexican people. There's great people here. Mexican people are the best. We had a Mexican roommate. I've had 2 of them. They're great people.
Yeah.
But
I'm not saying that.
No, but I'm saying that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, okay, we've been kind of loud with it, you know what I mean? As far as all this, let's give them a break for a second and then come back. Let's get the wall. Let's fix here first, and then, like I said, I think the trade stuff with Mexico is lower on our list because, first of all, the tension we've had.
So basically, say fuck you a little bit at a time.
Maybe instead of not even that. I'm not saying fuck. I'm not saying that. But you're right, it's kind of like, I mean, right, come on, it's not like, come on, we're not, we have good, the Mexican people are fine.
Yeah, well, like I said, I
agree. Yeah. So it's like, and I'm not saying,
right now should be China.
I'm also not saying, there are things that, we're not perfect. I'm sure we're fucking them over in trade too, some ways, and I know, we definitely take advantage of people too sometimes. We have sometimes lower, people that will do the same jobs for less here. That's taking advantage, so we do that stuff too. We take advantage of people too. But, and I'm not saying the wall and all that's a bad thing, but like I said, one step at a time. There, maybe let's be delicate for a minute. We're still buds. We have no beef with them. They're certainly not meddling into our government. Like how China is.
No,
too.
well, there's that. Well,
So
exactly.
But that's why I wanted to say too. Going back to the China thing, this is the what they do to get a little bit ahead too. Technically, besides on the economic standpoint, like you said, the lead paint, the child laborers, and what they have been doing over here that nobody wants to talk about.
Well, yeah, and
I think we just got to start hitting back. We have to start hitting back.
I would have totally forgotten about that. Yeah, they do things like hack into our hack into the FBI and stuff like that, and steal military plans and military plans for fighter jets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Or hack into the Pentagon with the FBI.
Well, they do. They do a lot of stuff like that, and I just think it's really hard to ignore. But we can also we're running about 10 minutes over, but I think we're having some good conversation. I think people are going to really enjoy this one. We are not racists. Yeah. I swear. I hope really what we were talking about, we're just kind of kidding around and stuff. But no, we do. Like I said, we have had, I've had, and same with, just because we're talking this stuff about, the Russians, Chinese and all this, I like all, I've known some cool Russian people. I've known some cool Chinese people.
Yeah,
so I just don't want people to think, how sometimes it gets all this hate speech. Look at these two Republican right-wingers. Exactly. We're just talking economics and kind of like American interest and just our thoughts. I'm not, again, we're not racists. We're not. Exactly. It's just all policy, and we're partnership policy too. America's not, America doesn't get a free pass on anything. But all I'm saying is we're trying to give it from we are American. We should have our best interests, and we're just trying to go over some things that we could do, like you said, economically, but in policy as well to help benefit not just us, but let's make it fair. Let's make it good for everybody. We don't need to lose like Donald Trump's. We really don't, and I agree with a lot of that stuff. Again, we don't need to get in trade wars with everybody. Let's keep it fair. And then what we do if we do get in trade wars with others, the beautiful thing about us, we can do it ourselves. And I'm not really too worried about it. Whether I'm with you on that. I think I'm all about spending a few extra bucks if it means I don't have to pay more in taxes because Joe Schmo is unemployed.
I think Trump's main plan with these tariffs are to get more steel jobs back here so that he can pass his infrastructure bill and start building with American steel and bridges and stuff like that.
I hope he passes. And I definitely agree with that. And the other thing is they'll say, oh, steel is dead. We don't need that anymore. We can do this, and that's true. We have stimulated our economy in different fields. However, why not just
have to be dead?
Well, exactly. That's exactly what I was gonna say. Why can't that just be stimulated? Let's bring that back. Oh, and how about if you want some bullshit policy, let's legalize the weed. Let's create jobs there too. But, a bunch of stuff. There's a bunch of stuff. We'll go over this again. Like I said, we're running a little over today, guys. I'm sorry. Is there anything else you'd like to add, Gage? I think we've tackled a lot of things without getting to. We're gonna probably We've been discussing, guys, about our next show, and I think it should be. I was thinking maybe conspiracy theories, so maybe we can talk more about that soon. But we don't know for sure. We'll let you know. But is there anything else, Gage, you'd want to wrap up about? South Africa, North Korea, Russia, or China, or Mexico, anything like that?
I think we've covered basically everything that, we could possibly cover in one episode.
Right. We did cover a lot. This was a great topic. I'm sorry if there's anything that we have missed, guys, just please comment and we could go over it later on. And we can make our podcast longer. That's the beautiful thing about making podcasts. They don't have a time limit. We're just trying to keep you guys, intrigued. But this was a good segment. I think this is an interesting one. We are not racists again. I apologize if we have offended anybody because we're really not trying to do that. We're really just trying to be legit. I really don't think it.
The joiner Lucas.
You never know, man. You have to say these things, but I think most of the people would agree. They know us for the most part. I don't think we come off that way, but we're just trying to have some good conversation here, and I hope you guys enjoyed the show. This is the Foreign Affairs episode of the Justice for All podcast with Randall Gage, and a quick review again. We just talked about generally our relationship with North Korea, what's been happening in South Africa. We also covered our relationship with Russia and some of the things that's been happening there this week, and then we dove into some China policy as well as the recent trade war talks we've been seeing in the news, and then we dove a little bit into some Mexico NAFTA things too. So we covered quite a bit. I think this is a good episode, and I hope you guys enjoy yourself. Have a good week. What is it, Wednesday? We'll hopefully have another one up by Friday, guys, this week. So we'll see you then. And comment, like, share, please. And have a kick-ass day. Thanks again for listening for the Justice for All podcast. This is Randall Latta and
Gage Gilbert.
All right.
Have a good one.
Have a good day.